and let there be sound. Hello, everybody. My name is Kirby Kwan Jr., and you're currently tuning into the Ghetto Fabulous Podcast. And once again, we have our standard co-host, your boy Skinny Jean Shane. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, despite the fact that this is like our third time trying this because we kept on getting interrupted. Regardless, today's topic is going to be about relationships that either should have, could have, would have, but for some reason didn't happen, and then we all regret it because life is life.
Oh.
So as you can see, Shane's already having flashbacks. So we shall start with Shane. Let's talk about your should have, could have, would have relationship with somebody named Mel.
Right. So this is going like all the way back from when I first landed in Canada because I'm an international student, right? Mm-hmm. And that's important because I, at that point, did not know how to speak with Canadian people. Right. I did not know, like, you know, what's a regular conversation to have in Canada.
You didn't expect us to sound as Caribbean as we did.
No, to be honest, like, everyone sounded way more American than I thought they would.
What do you mean by American? I
was expecting, like, oh, yeah, eh, you know?
Yeah,
eh? And at that time, right, I had no idea when a girl was flirting with me. I had no idea, like, you know, how to tell the signs or anything like that.
Yeah.
And Mel, she and I kind of, like, talked to each other and were bonding because, like, apparently we were from the same place. We grew up from the same island. She came here, like, a little earlier, I know. And she was also inviting me out to, like, raves and, like, you know, like, music events and stuff like that.
Okay. Right? I thought you were going to stop at music. I was like, does music not happen at raves?
No.
You just have a rave at a library.
And I did not know how the hell to respond to that other than, like, oh, thanks.
Did you poppy when you were, like, at rave?
Sorry?
Did you, like, poppy when you were, like...
No, I didn't even go to the raves. I didn't even get past that point because, all right, like...
No, not that I would know.
What should have happened was I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's do it, right? But what I did instead was, I don't know, maybe I could, like, take a little time to think about this, all right? Mm-hmm. And then she was just like, bitch? Why are you taking so long? And, like, I basically blew her off for a month or so. Yeah, no, this is all me, right? And what ended up happening was that she basically just stopped talking to me from, like, then on out. And that's number 1 out of, like, 6 or 7. Oh, man. So now that I shared mine, do you want to share yours?
Well, since I am hosting this podcast, let's hear another one. I'm joking. Just imagine. Okay, so I was actually going to dive deep into mine somewhat. So strap in, everybody. I almost said strap on.
It's a long day already.
It is. Originally, he was supposed to get her at like 5, and it's like 6 or 7, 6:30 right now. Anyways, so for the sake of privacy, let's call her Jennifer. That doesn't help because I know like 4 or 5 different Jennifers. Whatever. The point is, let's call her Jennifer. So Jennifer is a year older than me, right? And this happened in high school, of course, because like that's how like all animes, you know, love stories are best in high school or university for some reason. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, basically, I met her through a mutual friend in arts class as well as my, chemistry class. Get it? Chemistry class. So what happened was...
Go on.
You bloody bastard. So what happened was, basically, we just started chilling after school every day. At the time, I was practicing for a performance for Multicultural Night, where I would be singing a song in Rice, as I call it. So what happened was basically they just caught a rehearsal that we had like after school one day between me and my partner, and then we just became friends. We just chilled every day after school and shit, right? And then we would always, you know, chill, and I would even like walk her home sometimes because she lives really close. And, you know, I guess, you know, I realized eventually, oh shit, I think I have a thing for her or whatever, right? At the time, Guardians of the Galaxy came out and everyone was like going crazy over it. So then I asked her out to see, hey, why don't we see Guardians of the Galaxy together? And she agreed. And, you know, we're both Asian, so obviously we were late and we didn't see the movie as a result.
Oh, God damn it.
You know, it's kind of funny. So what happened was, this was at Yorkdale. So then what happened afterwards was, went into Indigo because that was like the only place that was still open because it was a Sunday and everything closed early, right?
Right.
So it's in Indigo and she actually reads I don't read. So she actually reads like a lot of books and stuff. I forget the exact name of the book that she was looking for, but I remember it had the word tree in it. So it could be many things.
Don't fucking ask me.
So, I took her to the correct section of where it is. And this girl, what I call her Jennifer, she's like blind as shit, basically, because like it was right there. And I purposely kept on pretending to look at shit, to browse it around, because I wanted her to find it. So it could feel like rewarding for her. No. She cannot see it, right? So basically, eventually I just picked up the book. I'm like, is this the one that she was looking for? And she's like, oh shit, it is, and everything, right? But she was like, yeah, one day I will have this book in my collection and stuff. So I'm like, cool.
One day? You didn't go there to buy that book, or?
Well, no, because like I said, we went to just see Guardians of the Galaxy.
But you fucking failed at that.
Exactly.
Alright, whatever.
Yeah, the fuck you, bitch.
Please continue.
Don't interrupt my stuff. I'm joking. So what happened was, I ended up, okay, this is gonna sound terrible, but I easily could have stole the book.
Yo.
I didn't do that though. What I did do though was I took a copy and I hid it from her. This is all gonna make sense, trust me. So, because I knew that her birthday was coming up in less than a month, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so basically I entered the line and she was like, oh, you're getting something? I'm like, yeah. But she couldn't tell what the hell I was getting because it appeared like there was no book in my hand, right? Mm-hmm. So when she finally looked away and then it was us like to cash out, I busted out the book and I got it for her birthday. So far so good. Obviously, we were still not going to see no Guardians of the Galaxy because we had school the next day. And none of us had a first morning spare, so we didn't want to risk it.
Oh boy. Okay.
We still fucking did something stupid because we ended up getting home at like 1 or midnight or 1 or some shit.
Jesus Christ.
So at that time, somewhat near where we lived, a new Walmart was opening.
Okay.
And for some strange reason, I legitimately forget how I knew this. I knew that like their Oreos were on sale.
Oh my god.
It's kind of cute. It's a bit of a cute story, but it's also kind of like there's a lot of things that like you really should not have been able to predict, and I didn't predict it. I just somehow knew it instead. So I I told her that, right, and she was like, "No way." I'm like, "Plus the Walmart's open." She's like, "It's open now." I'm like, "Yeah." So we ended up going to that Walmart, right? So then we went to the Walmart and she got her Oreos, and at the time McDonald's just brought back the new poutine, right? So she was like, "Oh, I'm curious to try it. I warned you, it was gonna be shit at the time."
Okay, this is already taking some good turns. Go ahead.
And it was shit, but we still had a good time. We were talking to each other and we were having a good time to the point where McDonald's was closing and they basically politely kicked us out. Okay. And then I walked her home, and then that was that. All right. So. A pretty funny situation, but it's a fun situation.
So where's the should have? Like, what should you have done there?
We're getting there.
Okay.
Don't interrupt this story. No. Joseph's Idols is actually, it's a bit like of a deeper story. Okay. So then what happens is, I forget what was the next movie. Oh, Gone Girl. I was supposed to see I asked her out to see Gone Girl, right? Which I'm kind of glad we didn't see.
That is a heavy ass mood for a date.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that we didn't see. Because imagine if we did. If you ain't seen Gone Girl, you should see Gone Girl. It's a good movie. Because I would feel like all sorts of types of ways about that.
Go ahead.
So take 2, we're trying to go to Gone Girl, or we're trying to see Gone Girl. And at this time, I'm actually showing more investment. Like, I'm dressed up a little bit different. In high school, I always had like almost like my own specific uniform, which was a giant hoodie and some kind of baseball cap and high cut shoes and some cargo pants. Right. Always. But when I was with her, I actually dressed up and stuff, and I picked her up at work to the point where she didn't even realize it was me. What? Like it took her like a while to realize that it was me because like I wasn't wearing a hat, I did my hair, I was wearing a scarf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I had a neck at the time too, right? But so that's why I could still wear a scarf.
I thought that was just like the Asian kid style back then.
To have necks?
No, to have like a scarf.
What, like you think I'm a fucking anime character or shit? I'm gonna challenge your ass to Beyblade battles and shit?
I've seen pictures of like Canadian like kids in high school, right? It's like scarves and like the spiky ass haircuts.
Oh no, it wasn't like an anime style. It was like more It was a little bit more like semi-mature type of. And regardless,
Anyways,
I took her to downtown, and we were supposed to see Gone Girl. I forget exactly what was the reason as to why we didn't, but the point is we didn't, and we instead got dinner instead, like last time, and we had like some downtown street food and stuff like that, and talking and whatnot. And it was another. I'm gonna say it was another successful day out or night out. And I think like from the effort I was showing and stuff, like it showed that I had interest and stuff. I didn't like ever explicitly say it, right? So then one day she hits me and asks me the question of, "So Kirby, do you like me?" And I said yes, right? No, I didn't. That I said I didn't.
Oh no. Go on.
Yeah, I didn't. I should have. I could have, but I didn't.
God damn it. Well, now for me to share part 2.
It gets worse.
Wait.
Well, kind of. It gets worse because if I just said I didn't, you okay, well maybe he's just really a nice guy or whatever the fuck. Motherfucker. So this is what I actually did.
Oh no. This is gonna sound so stupid. Go ahead.
I, for some reason, cop blocked myself by saying.
Let's get to it. Come on, rip it off like a Band-Aid.
I can't because it stitches instead. So what happened was, I said, I mean, I did say Jennifer. Right?
Jennifer, yeah.
I'm like, listen, Jennifer. Like, I'm pretty sure you know me well enough to like know that I'm very comfortable with using the word love, and I don't really have much to hide. If I liked you, I would have told you straight up to your face. I think you're a very like integral part of my life. I basically I said I love you in every single way except for explicitly saying that I did. So if she was confused or if she was mad, I'm so sorry. I get it.
You handled this shit like a business meeting.
Yeah, like a executive is like. I was like, you don't understand. This is my 2 weeks notice. I'm only in for the rest of the month.
Okay.
Yeah, long story short, I fucked myself over.
Oh my god. Oh, that's so rough, to be honest. And like, it's painful to hear.
I know, because she was so nice. She is the one that got away. Because I pushed her away.
Because you cockblocked yourself. Which I've never heard of before. Oh, man. All right. Well, I guess can I even top something like that? So this is going to fast forward like quite a bit. So once upon a time, I was already part of like my school's anime club, right? I was one of the executives for them.
Not surprised.
Huh?
Not surprised.
Nope.
You're Asian, you're a male.
And what was interesting about that was that as an executive, right, like I was constantly working with like, you know, some of the other teammates, right? And they were all really cool, right? And like what would be great is that we would always like hang out afterwards, our events, right? Like,
is this in your university or still in high school?
University.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'd always go out for dinners or like, you know, ramen or whatever the fuck, right? Whatever was Japanese.
We still do that with our cosplay operations.
Yeah, actually.
And our friend Shamu.
We should have him on like podcast and share a story.
We need to one day.
Yeah. But anyways,
is your mom dead?
We'll get there. But what happened was, all right, like there was a girl there who she was new to the team. She was helping us out for one of our events, right? And I decided, like, you know, I had to interview her, right, just to ensure that, you know, she was like fully aware of like what duties are required for that event. And when we were sitting down just chatting afterwards, right, like we chatted for like another like hour and a half, right? It was awesome. It was cool, right? And so what happened after that was that like we shared numbers, we shared like Messenger, all right, you know, and we just kept chatting with each other, right?
Is this the story in air quotes?
No.
Okay.
I will tell because that story is legendary. But this person, oh man, what should I even name this one? This one's tough. So for Velma, all right.
That's a fake name, by the way.
Yes, the name that we're going with. Me and her, right, just kept meeting up every now and then because she actually lived nearby my area, right?
Okay.
We would go out to different cafes, bubble tea shops, just hang out, chat, all right? And we shared a number of interests, like baking, some anime stuff, as well as like a little bit of like Overwatch, like, just video games, right?
Okay.
And it felt cool, right? But there were just moments of like day-to-day interaction with her that just felt a little like off, mostly because like I couldn't tell if we were quite at that step yet, because we kept talking about like relationships, right? I was single, she was single at the time because she recently broke up with her boyfriend, and we would talk about like, hey, how's your luck going on Tinder? Not great. How about you? Worse. And like we would kind of chat about like how crap the app is, how bad some of the people that we met were, because I met some fucking weirdos over that. And we would just kind of shoot the shit with each other, right? Just like, shit talking, like dating in general, right?
Okay.
And to me, it was just like, it was always just one step away from asking the question of like, you want to go out? Right? Like it always felt as though like, at any moment, right, I could just pull the trigger, right, and ask like, do you want to actually go out? Right? As like a date thing. And I never did. Because, all right, like there were just moments where I felt as though like, okay, I think like we're kind of getting past certain levels of comfort here. Because at one point, all right, like I was just like, yeah, you know what, I gotta drop off something in my place, all right, because we were just in my area. And she's like, cool, right, and then she followed me.
Whoa.
Into so I live at just a condo, right? She followed me into the lobby. I was like, okay, cool. And then she followed me into the elevator. All right. And then she followed me into my house.
Nice.
And then she got comfortable like in the living room, right, while I was like dropping off stuff, right?
And then she started playing music.
Well,
oh shit, she did.
Almost, right? It looked like she pulled out her phone, right? She started like like
you
playing
can't
videos
put your
or whatever.
hands on me.
And
touch me right there.
Well, to me, it was just like our plans already were to go out for dinner, right? Or like go out and like get some food, right? So it was just a little strange to me that she kind of like followed me all the way like up to my place, even though I said like I just need to drop this off really quickly, right?
I'm gonna disagree with you because you live on like what, like one of the higher floors, so like it makes sense for her to come along with you.
I guess, but at the time, like I was getting like these weird vibes of just like, is she into me? I can't tell, right? Because she's like really sort of like friendly. She's just civil most of the time, right? So I couldn't tell.
Does she
like,
play Black Eyed Peas music?
Like a certain someone that we know.
Sorry, there's an inside joke here.
Yeah. No. But funny enough, she is reminiscent of that song. And the thing was, all right, I was just like, okay, well, I mean, I'm done. And she was just like, oh, do you want to go? I was like, yeah, let's go. And then we went out for like some dinner, right? This is honestly painting me as like such a douchebag.
Oh my god, what did you do?
Because then another point happened where she messages me, right, being like, yo, like I'm trying to get like this textbook photocopied, right, for one
Isn't
of her
that
classes.
illegal?
Yes. But
You're just exposing this bitch.
But we don't know her name.
True.
She was like, can we like split a scanner between the two of us? And I was just like, I wouldn't even do that with you.
well, shit. No,
I was just like, I mean, I have access to a scanner. If you want, I could just do it for you. And she's just like, what? Really? Sick. Thanks.
What?
And I got really busy at that time with my schoolwork, so I like put it off for a long time. All right, came down to the end of the semester, and then I just like mad dash. All right, scanned out the whole thing, right, and then gave it to her, and she was just like, I waited for so long for this. All right, if you have something to do next time, just let me know. And I was just like, my bad, honestly, my bad. I just got so wrapped up in my own schoolwork, right? Oh man, and like. What could have happened was, all right, that I pulled the trigger. I say, like, you want to go out? Because she kept talking about relationships. She kept talking about, like, how interested she was in a new boyfriend, right? She kept talking about, like, how bad the current, like,
wait,
Tinder
she already
dates were.
had a boyfriend and you were trying...
She had one before she met me, right? But she broke up recently with him.
And you were going to swoop in at that time?
She kept giving me signs and she kept wanting to hang out with me.
Okay, I was about to be like, you are a terrible human being.
No. I mean, like... And, like, what could have happened was, like, yeah, we could have just gone out and, like, like...
I was like, why did you need to elaborate on that?
We could have just gone out.
Right? I want to see where he
and
goes
be
with
a
this.
couple. There you go. That's how you finish that sentence.
I was like, who are you going with this?
Oh man, but
Gone out and do the fucking.
I was just. Okay, you need to cut that one out. That was so harsh. Yeah, and like what could have happened, all right, was, well, we could have been a couple, all right. And in all honesty, like we would have gelled like really well because of the amount of things that we already
can't
did,
put
right?
your hands
on the interests such as like baking and video games and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And to this day, like we're still really good friends, all right? Like it isn't like we just completely cut off.
Yeah, because I was like, technically, you still talk to Velma.
True. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
But I mean, granted, you're okay. Awkward.
I'm not even sure where you're going with that one, but
For the better.
okay. And yeah, like it could have been like, who knows what kind of relationship, right? So, whatever. Now, your turn.
Right, so we're gonna go on a break. No, really, look at the time.
Oh, okay.
But when we do come back, though, we will talk about more bullshit and, of course, the infamous story of how Kevin fucking cock-blocked me. Fuck you, Kevin. We'll be right back.
Bring in the story.
The what story?
The
Yes, you must bring in the story.
All right.
We'll be right back. So clearly we're back.
Yeah.
Right, so your story on... What are you going to name her ass?
Velma.
Oh, still Velma?
I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait, no, we're getting back to my other story now.
To the one that involved... Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but...
Okay, we'll get to the story. So...
The one that involved...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what are we going to name this bitch?
Don't call her that. Come on.
What are we going to name this woman?
We are going to call
Daphne?
her... You know, we'll go with Daphne.
Fuck it. No, actually, yeah, that works.
Yeah. So... Oh my god, this is gonna be a long one, people. So... Once upon a time, alright, it was my birthday, and,
birthday.
What?
Huh? I whispered Chuck E. Cheese for my birthday. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, whatever. And my siblings, she made me a birthday cake, right? But what she did was she took 2 whole cakes, slapped one on top of the other, and then covered the whole thing in icing, right? So it was already way too much for just myself to eat, right?
Okay.
So I was handing this shit out like left, right, and center. I gave some to my security guard for the condo. If I knew you, I would have given you like half.
And I would have told you, I don't like sweets.
Yeah, well, I
Fuck you, diabetes, bitch.
gave like I gave like a third of it over to a friend because he just moved into a new place. I was just like, oh, a housewarming gift, all right? Just a good fucking excuse to get rid of the cake. And that's when I met Daphne, all right? And the thing is, like, I already knew Daphne a bit because I kept seeing her at
Velma?
at some of our club events. So, in a way, yes. She and I, all right, kind of knew each other. We never really fully spoke to one another. We never really had like a friendship, right? But we just knew that we existed, right? And at that point, I was just like, hey, all right, like I got all this extra cake. Do you want some, right? And she says like, absolutely, yeah, but I don't know if you live in my area. Just like, oh, where do you live, all right? And it turned out that it was actually same area as me. Which was great, and I was just like, sweet, let's meet up, right? And so we met up, and I thought it was gonna be like a simple like one and done, right? It's like, here's the cake, like peace, right?
Oh, okay. I took one and done in a totally different
Oh god,
because it makes sense in this case.
Fair. And what happened was she was like, oh, do you want to like chill out at a cafe for a bit? And I was just like, sure, why not? And we sat in that cafe for like 5 hours, right? Just chatting, shooting the shit, all right? Me cracking jokes, her laughing her ass off at them, all that stuff, right?
5 hours, though?
5 hours, yeah.
Did your ass get numb?
I mean, we got up and walked around a little bit, so not really. But,
in a cafe?
Yeah, in a cafe. Like, to be honest, it was a really nice cafe, too. And the thing was, we decided to make it like a regular thing, right? So we started doing this like almost weekly, right, where we'd meet up, right, just shoot the shit, right, just talk crap, right, crack jokes, laugh, right.
Okay.
And it was nice, all right, and I was kind of getting some feelings for her, right, because she was asking me like, hey, do you want to meet up at my workplace, all right, and like wait for me to finish so that we could go hang out. I was just like, Yeah, sure. It was just a Tim Hortons.
No,
right?
I'm laughing because I'm like, I mean, technically, he could just show up after you're done. Why does he have to wait for you, bitch? Like,
I traveled all the way to like some Tim Hortons that was like 45 minutes away from my place.
holy shit.
Yeah. I was in for it. And she never got off work that day, all right? So I basically wasted like 3 hours, all right, just kind of sitting there like waiting for her. She gave me a free donut at the end of it, but after that, all right, like we just kept hanging out, all right? And the thing is, like, we were part of the same club at the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Is it still the...
No, it's a different one.
Okay.
And what happened was we basically just kept chatting, all right, online. And I was ready to kind of like pop the question, right? Of just like, hey, do you want to go out? All right. Like, do you want to be like a couple? Right.
You want to do the fucking?
Oh, come on. And right when I was like this close to actually like doing like, you know, a full confession, right? She left. She flew off to England for a co-op thing, right? And I was just like, all right, whatever, right? Like, you know, when she gets back, right, then we'll talk then, right? And she left for the summertime, and during that time, right, like I was basically dealing with a bunch of other bullshit with my family. Like they were blaming me for shit that was not my fault. You know, it was just drama, right? And I was telling her that
So sorry.
over like Messenger, right? And she was like, "Oh, do you want a Skype call about it?" And I was like, "Huh." No one's actually ever done that for me before, right? So yeah, absolutely, right? And then we made Skype calls like a regular thing, right? We kept doing that for like the whole summer, right? And then we finally decided like, let's meet up, right, on Christmas Day, right? Because she'll be back by then. And I was just like, hell's yes, but I'm flying back home. And I won't be able to see her for Christmas Day. The next time that I'll actually be able to see her is like past New Year's, like January like 10th or something like that, right?
Okay.
And I was just like, all right, well, I'll just deal with it, right? I bought some Christmas gifts, all right, before I left for home, just for her, all right? I bought her like a big ass like teddy bear, all right, as a Christmas gift.
Why don't you get me no big ass teddy bear?
I didn't know you, bitch. And
Wow.
I bought like, you know, some earmuffs, you know, just nice gifts, right? And I also knew that she really liked like spicy food.
What year was this?
Oh man, this was definitely like
2014, I'm guessing?
2015.
Okay, because it sounds like a 2003 anime.
Oh, we'll get there. If anyone's seen School Days. And
So far, it sounds like Love Hina.
you don't know School Days, do you?
I kind of... No, I know how it ends now.
Okay. Anyway, so I basically was getting like as many gifts for her as possible, right? I knew that she liked spicy food a lot, and I decided like, you know what, where I live, or like my home country, all right, like we have like some of the spiciest peppers, right? It's like the second hottest pepper in the world, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'll get some of that pepper sauce just for her, right? And we finally got back, all right, into Canada, all right. I met up with her, all right. It was a great sort of like, hey, how you been, right, kind of thing. Because she actually also got me Christmas gifts from England, right? Treats, a t-shirt.
Crumpets.
Kind of,
tea.
actually. No, she brought me like some treats like biscuits, cookies, right, some of the candies, all right.
Okay.
She got me a can of Spotted Dick.
What the fuck is that?
It's a custard bread.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a dessert. I don't know. I didn't quite understand it.
Did you eat it?
Yeah.
You ate dick.
You know what? Perfectly fair. But anyways,
Do you eat dick? Yes, I eat dick.
you fucking 4-year-old.
You did it, yes.
Anyways, and when we met up, we went over to like a restaurant. All right, I gave her all the gifts. She was really happy. All right, and then I finally popped the question of like, hey,
I ate your dick. Would you like to
I
eat
really
mine?
oh, stop it. Stop your shit. Okay, hold on. We'll give this a little bit.
You ate dick. Sorry.
Fucking 4-year-old. All right. I basically told her, right, like, hey, I actually really like you. Do you want to go out? And she's like, not really interested. Not really looking for a relationship at the moment. You know, kind of just enjoying being single. Man. And I was just like, okay, no worries. Totally understood, right? went our separate ways that night, all right? And I was just like, kind of sucks. Whatever, right? We'll deal with it. Then things get really weird from here on out. Buckle your seats. So,
seatbelts.
I don't care. Buckle your seatbelts. What happens from here on out, all right, is like, in all honesty, some of the most crazy stuff, all right? She calls me up the next day. She calls me up the next day, all right, being like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I was just like, I mean, kind of told me, like, not interested in going out. I mean, sure. All right. I still said yes. And when we met up, all right, we basically started chatting and hanging out, all right, as if nothing changed whatsoever, right? We were hanging out like, like I just didn't just confess the day before.
Yeah.
It was cool or whatever, right? I was still cracking jokes and like, acting like, haha, nothing ever happened. And then she says like, so the reason why I wanted to talk to you actually was because I wanted to adjust what I said when I said I didn't want to go out with you. Because I might go out with this other guy named Dan. And I was like,
Dan's not his real name, is it?
No. Don't worry. It's
Okay,
all
thank
fake
God.
names.
Okay.
These are all fake names. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to let you know, all right, that I might go out with him. I didn't want you to think, right, that I totally dumped you so that I could go out with him. Because I know that I'd have more fun with you. These are all what she said, word for word. I know that I'd have more fun going out with you, all right, hanging out with you, right, because you're so much more fun, all right, but I just wanted to let you know, all right? And here's the thing, right? At that moment, I had no clue what the hell to say. To this day, I still didn't know. I still don't know what I was supposed to say at that point.
I would have known what to say.
Other than, okay.
I would have said, you made me eat dick.
Anyways. And I was just like, all right, whatever, I guess. Just roll with it. All right, roll with the punches. And after that, all right, we had an orientation event for our student group. We hung out, all right. And we met up a bit beforehand, right? Before the actual event. And we decided, like, we'll just chat, hang out for a bit, all right? And the minute that Dan walked in, right, she was gone. Now, remember what she said. This was another thing that I forgot to say. She said in that moment, oh yeah, I'm probably not going to go out with him. I'm probably just not, right? So then it brings up a lot of questions like, why the fuck would you tell me any of this? Now, remember what she said. I'm probably not going to go out with him, right? In that orientation event, right? She is gone, right? I don't see her anymore, right? As soon as Dan walked in, right? She is sitting in his lap. She is running her hands through his hair, right? She is like sharing pizza with him, all right? Kind of like snuggling up against him. And she knows I'm in the same room. She knows that I'm there, all right? And I'm just kind of like quietly like, drinking my drink, all right? And I'm just like, you know what? I don't have to sit through this. I don't have to be here, all right, and be like stuck here watching this crap. Get up, toss the drink in the bin, all right, and I go over to get my coat, and they are at the front door. So I have to say something.
Yeah, I don't have to.
And I grab my coat, and she's like, "Oh, you're already leaving?" I'm like, "Yeah, like honestly, like I'm a little tired. Like, oh, is this Dan? All right, like nice to meet you, Shane."
My name, yeah.
And no, it's sad because like he didn't even really look me in the eye. He didn't even look at me, right? Like what he did was he gave me like something like this to shake.
The fuck is okay? So to describe this for people who are listening to it, it looks like when you're doing the okay thing with your hand, except you have a limp wrist.
Exactly, yeah. And I was just like, and then I just walked off, right? And it was the roughest subway ride home, honestly. And this story does have a second part because now we're going to go into what else happened, all right, with Daphne and how Daphne met Dan. So here's how the situation went down, right? During New Year's, she and some of her friends, right, all met up, all right, and hung out at some place. I don't even really know where, right? And got like drunk. Just
Chuck E. Cheese.
Absolutely. They hung out at Chuck E. Cheese, right, and they got smashed, right?
Okay.
Cool. All right, whatever. And what happened was, all right, some of those friends started making like noise, right? They started getting like really rambunctious, kind of crazy, all right? And she decides, hey, to quiet them down, I'm going to threaten them with a knife. And the minute that she did that, Dan decided to give her a head massage, and boom, she fell in love. And I'll never forget this quote from her, what she told me once, right? He can handle my crazy. So I think I dodged a bullet there.
Well, I know somebody who also has like a crazy side to her. She self admits. Now apparently we haven't seen how crazy she gets.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So me being a dick, I'm just curious to see what it is. I don't ever want to be involved in the crazy. I just want to see what it is because I know her. She's not crazy. I don't think, at least. Not Daphne. It's like a completely isolated case.
Yeah. I know. But...
Do you think, just because you and I both know, do you think her quote unquote crazy? And I'm gonna show this to her anyway, so it's not I'm talking shit behind her back. The person I'm referring to, do you think if we ever saw her crazy side would match the Daphne's crazy
Absolutely
side?
Not.
Exactly.
Because I feel as though like Daphne's crazy is at an extra level.
Hey Daphne, how do you solve problems? You stab her? I stab her.
And to this day, all right, like this, I can never like.
Why didn't you just do the thing where you shut off all the lights and turn the music down?
And
just be like,
I don't know.
Or just do the Korean kid thing. Yeah, this is a library.
I don't know. And the thing is, all right, like at this point, I don't really know what she's up to. Like, you know, communication between me and her is like cut off for like quite some bit. Just quite some time, sorry. And I have no idea, like, you know, where she is now. But here's the irony of the situation. So she never actually got together with Dan, right? When she
but
told
why?
me.
He can handle her crazy.
Because apparently, all right, the dude's a little too much of an introvert. And not only that, but instead she decided to go out with some other random dude, all right? They lasted 3 months, all right? Dropped off the face of the earth from each other, and then that was it. Oh, man. It was such a needless situation, all right? And I told her, right, like at a certain point, hey, you really fucked up. No, I actually like said this to her, right? And she admitted, like, yeah, I did, right? Like, that was really fucked up of you, all right? To go and like do this with Dan or whatever, right? While you know that I just confessed, right?
And you made me eat dick.
And how closely how close in like timing it all was, right?
Yeah.
That's really not cool. You can't do that.
Yeah,
right?
fuck you, Dan. And Daphne.
And she said like, yeah, you know, I think I really did make a mistake. And I'm like, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to take a break from you now, so I'll see you later. And then that was the end of that.
But you don't talk to her no more.
I talk to her only on and off. I only talk to her like when mutual friends that we have, all right, want to hang out, right? And if that's the case, all right, like perfectly civil, perfectly fine, right? I don't have no real like, you know, anger or like, you know, bad will towards her anymore, right? To me, it's just kind of indifference, whatever, right? Like shit happens, right?
You could have got stabbed.
I could have gotten stabbed. I could have gotten assaulted. Yeah. But in all honesty, like it doesn't even bother me.
Imagine getting freaky with her in bed, man. I don't want to picture that shit.
No.
Then she gonna stab me with something else.
So
let's talk about how Kevin. Thank you. Yeah. So let's talk about how Kevin cop locked the fuck out of me. You bitch. Fuck you, boy. So this is what happened. So this happened in university. I'm talking to this girl, and we kind of. Here's the thing, right? The funny thing is, I almost didn't realize that this person existed until for some reason someday, Kevin and I are having food after like our class, and then she was too, and she was sitting like diagonal towards me in a different table, and then I realized I'm like, oh shit, aren't you in our class? I didn't say that to her, but that's like the first thing I thought of, right? For whatever reason, we did lock eyes for like the briefest moment, and maybe it's because I was just exhausted that day, but it looked like she gave me like a fucking death stare, like I will destroy your family for your past sins type of thing, right? So your boy was shitting bricks. So I went from looking at her to looking strictly at my last nugget and thinking like I need to make this one last so that I don't need to ever keep my head up.
I'm gonna take my time with this one.
Yeah, like I did that anime girl thing where I nibble like 1 millimeter off every 3 bites. Not just one, every three bites. I nibble off a millimeter. Type of thing. While I'm speaking to Kevin about this. Now the thing is, Kevin and I both speak rice, but I was pretty sure that she did too, which is why I chose not to. So basically, we spoke in slang, And then I realized Kevin had no clue what I was saying because Kevin doesn't speak in slang.
Oh, God damn it.
So then after she left, and then I felt comfortable devouring the last nugget, and I explained to her. But at the time, it was already cold. And regardless, I explained to him what happened, right? So then, for some fucking reason, my fault entirely.
Already such a jump. Go on.
Yeah, so for some fucking reason, I messaged her. I'm like, hey, you were sitting like in front of me, like after class, right? She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I thought it was you. I'm like, yes. And then she's like, why didn't you say hi? I'm like, cuz. And then I explained to her how like I look like you're about to fucking like chop my dick off and feed it to me, right? So.
Wow, that's a jump.
So. It's like, you read all that from just a stare? Yes. From just a fucking stare. For the sake of privacy, we're going to call her Champagne, right?
Yeah.
So Champagne is actually a foreign exchange student from, I'm just gonna keep it at Asia. So then we're taking this class, and then one day I just asked her, like, hey, you want to like just like study and shit? She's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we were studying and shit, and because we spoke the same languages, we were also doing this funny thing was like, I need to practice my rice more often. So I'm speaking rice, you speaking English. It was the funniest thing ever because I would imagine if a third person was walking by and just like looking at us, it's like, y'all speaking the two different languages. How the fuck does it work? What kind of fucking Scientology, some bullshit is happening over here? Point is, I'm talking to her or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We're keeping it casual and everything, yada, 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 right? The vibes are good. I didn't feel like she was going to chop off my dick and feed it to me, right?
Right.
So,
I mean, good for you, but yeah.
So everything's going smooth. And then basically, it was the exam. It was either a midterm or exam. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, she said, hey, we could do something afterwards. Just wait for me, right? Because she lives on campus.
Right.
So we were going to do something.
We're
just going to leave it at that. So then because I was a good kid, I finished my exam relatively early compared to everybody else. So Kevin was in this class. My homeboy was also in that class and everything, right? So my homeboy gave me dap after it was finished. And I told him, like, I'm going to be doing something after class. And then he left, right? So okay. He's like, okay. Whose man's is this? And then he left, right?
Right.
Whatever. Same thing with the other friends. And then Kevin comes by, you motherfucker. He just fucking, like, stands next to me, right? He does one of these things. So I'm seated at a bench because I'm waiting for her to come by, right? And then she comes by, she sits down with me, and she's like packing up the rest of her stuff, and we're talking about the test. We're obviously talking about the test, but we know what we was gonna do after the fact, right?
Oh wow, okay.
Fucking Kevin, this guy. So we're seated at a bench. Let's say it's like this, right? He comes right by, stands right next to me, does this weird I don't know what the fuck this is. He does this thing where he just stands right next to me, right? And he has his arms crossed. And he has like his one leg flipped over the other, kind of like this, right? And so he's standing on just one leg, leaning up against the wall like a fucking anime character.
What the hell?
He looks down at him and he just goes, "So what's up?"
Yow. Oh my god. Okay.
So then Champagne looks at me, looks at him, looks at me again, and I'm just pretending like this motherfucker's not here. But then she ends up looking at him again, and he's still fucking there in the same pose.
Just imagining how awkward the silence
And then Champagne
is.
just like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm like, wait, no, fuck it.
Oh my god. That's honestly hard to hear.
Fuck you, Kevin.
What makes this all the better was the fact that he was like standing, like, kind of like what a person thinks like a cool person would look like or something like that.
While wearing a fucking like Walmart flannel and like a Hatsune Miku hat.
Oh no.
I remember this like vividly.
Oh god, the leg pose though.
The leg and arms, yeah.
And the fact that he was like, "So what's up?"
I never heard him speak like that either. I'm just like, what are you doing, dude?
I have no idea what he was trying to do there, but goddamn.
Yeah, so for that one, it should have, would have, could have, didn't, because I got cop blocked. That's it. There's no reason.
We all make mistakes.
It was just one walk away.
We all make mistakes, except I'm having a little bit of a time, like, trying to figure out what the mistake here was.
I should have just, like, stalled, man. I should have just finished my exam and just sit there until everybody else leaves. That's what I should have done.
I mean...
My mistake was that I was too smart.
You could have pulled Kevin over, right? And just
I should have, like, hey, Kevin,
yo.
Fuck you.
No, just pull him over. And
no, you couldn't. He pulled himself over. He could have just kept on walking. Because that's what other guys did. They looked at me and they just went, like... They just nodded and they just, like, fucked off. I'm like, all right. This guy just, hey, what's up? Fuck, man.
Why didn't you just tell him, like, yo, I'm kind of working something here?
I thought he knew, I guess not.
Oh, man. All right, well, shit happens.
Well, how good...
I can tell that you're still upset about this. So what would you have done differently for that situation?
I would have unfriended Kevin.
Oh, come on!
No, I'm joking. I told you, I would have just, like, stalled. Like, even though I finished my test, I would have just stalled until I caught on that she was leaving.
Right.
So then the timing would match up perfectly, and then
okay.
I would have got yeah.
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 Cool.
I would have gave her my spotted dick.
Oh God.
Yes, I can tie it all back up together.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I have any other story to top that one off. Unless we got our homeboy Shamu here.
For which story?
For the best story.
There's too many.
There's two that are just fantastic that we could tell another time, but like we need him here first so that we can get that visceral reaction.
Okay. I think I know where you're going with. Well, can we? Okay, well, regardless.
Yeah. Since
we are running low on time, that will be it for today's episode. So, Shane, what would you say is from our experiences that we shared? What do you think are like the two biggest giveaways from our fucked up experiences?
I have no idea how to talk to girls.
Besides, don't have Kevin around.
I have no idea how to talk to girls.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got, to be honest.
For me, I would say don't be a bitch. Just do it. Like, cause the everything was so perfect, man. The stars were aligned and everything, and then I'm just like, see, if I like you, I would have told you.
Oh my god.
What? Yeah. What did you say?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, if you feel strongly about something, just say it. You know, like if you swing and miss, at least you swung and shot your shot. So.
Absolutely, and I understand like the worries that people might have of like, you know, it might change the relationship between you and that person, all right? But like,
you never know if you don't try.
Exactly, and you kind of have to like think to yourself like, you know, is it worth it? You know, am I willing to like go through something like that? Do I like this person enough for something like that?
To eat a dick? You're like, fuck. I know, it sounds terrible. I probably never should have told you about it.
I mean, I knew that you were gonna like make shit out of this, so
be a dick about it.
Yes.
And also, like, if you do have like a introverted or like a socially irresponsible friend, just either tell him beforehand or give him play-by-play instructions to fuck off. I'm working my fucking Chinese red envelope magic, dog.
I like that one. That was good.
Fucking Siu Pao Zheng, motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Have you ever seen like lion dances?
Yes, but I think we're getting off.
Yeah, we're about to do lion dances, except I would have been in the back.
Oh,
that was a good one.
That was a good one. I like that.
Why? What? You like that?
Anyways, is that all the time that we have, Kirby?
We have another 3 minutes, technically. Just kidding. So actually, since we do have like another 2 minutes, could you actually tell us what exactly is that pastry? What actually is a spotted dick? So then we could like educate our viewers.
Bruh, it was a canned good. I can't even really describe it. It's like bread that's just been canned with like some sweet syrup. You're supposed to have it with like custard or something like that, all right? And me and Daphne already made the joke, right? It's like, I think we're eating like some kind of STD or something like that.
Okay. So, So you can find me on multiple platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud. Just type in Kirby Kwan Jr., KIRBY, KWANJR. Don't forget to follow our podcast on multiple platforms, including Spotify, iTunes, Google Cast, Breaker, Radio Public, and so much more by typing in Ghetto Fabulous Podcast. That is GHETTOFABULUS podcast. And that'll be it for today. So make sure to take care and shoot your shot. And don't eat dick.
Unless you want to.
Unless you want to. All right, cheers.
All right.